Good morning, everyone. So Jin here, guiding you through the US FOMC news tonight at 2 a.m. So we can see here at 2 a.m. we got a US FOMC economic projections, FOMC statement, Fed funds rate, and then at 2:30 we have the FOMC press conference where they'll be elaborating on whether the actual is actually going to be 2.25% and why they have actually increased interest rates to 2.25, and also their view of whether there's going to be another interest rate increase in December, and possibly an insight into interest rate decisions in 2019 as well. So this is going to be quite a big interest rate decision and also a press conference for the FOMC. So just looking at this was the last FOMC statement. This was August 2018. What we're paying the most attention to is the three words: policy remains accommodative. So looking at the statements tonight, we'll be paying attention of whether they're still going to say that the stance of monetary policy remains accommodative, supporting strong labor conditions and a sustained return to 2% inflation. We might see accommodative being removed. If this is removed, what does it mean? It means that we might see more monetary policy actions, which means that we could see a December rate increase, and also we could see approximately 3 rate increases in 2019. Okay, so just this morning I shared this post on my Facebook with 3 questions. Will the US increase interest rates to 2.25%? Does a rate hike always mean that the US dollar will get stronger? And also, which currency pair you'll be looking at to have the most opportunity? You got quite a number of comments and replies here. Most people are looking at rate increases. All right, Aussie US, New Zealand US, Pound US seems to be the biggest currency pair that we'll be focusing on, and also that a lot of times market is going to react to the news, and also how much will the US get stronger, or whether the press conference is going to be a bit dovish. We will look into it a bit further right now. So looking into the charts, what we have here, I've got the 2, 4, 6, 8 currency pairs, the 8 majors. We'll be going through them one by one. I've just updated my lines, so if you've read my report, it might be a little bit different from what we had in the report, but it should be quite similar. Okay, so let's start off with Aussie US. Aussie US on the 4-hour chart looks like a downtrend with a short-term bounce. It got recently supported at this level of 7.223. So in my previous report, I was looking for Aussie to break. Oops, let me change this a bit. Okay, I was looking for Aussie to break down from this support back down towards this level of 709 or 7100. So we're looking for a stronger US dollar. If we see a stronger US dollar, we could see the Aussie breaking downwards. Looking on the New Zealand US, it has been on a downtrend, bounced up, hasn't really found a support, but it's still trying to test this resistance. Personally, I would really be avoiding any trade on the New Zealand US dollar at the moment. Why? Because if you look at the news at 5 a.m, there's actually a New Zealand official cash rate, policy statement, and rate statement. Stay till the end. Continue watching this video till the end. I'll probably be looking at a position we'll get into after the press conference, with how the prices are set up, to see whether there's a slightly more speculative trade that we could get into for the New Zealand US dollar. Okay, so nothing for now. looking at the US yen. US yen is actually testing the 113 resistance level right now. I'm actually quite keen to see if it could break above this level, above the 113 level, heading up towards the 114, and if we see a really strong US dollar, 114 or 115 resistance level. So 114 is about right here. So intermediate and ultimate level. So good 200 pip move over there. Euro yen is doing the same thing, strong uptrend. If it breaks 11350, hey, we could see it going to 117. That's a huge move. So at this point in time, I'm not so sure whether it's going to go that much, right? I'm not so sure whether it's going to move 350, 360 pips upwards. Something I'll probably keep on the back burner for now. Nope, so we're going to keep it on the back burner, I'll probably delete that away. Okay, looking at the Euro US, this Euro US on the recent couple of weeks has been climbing. It climbed, tested a support and climbed again. So if the Euro US can go past 118, let's move that line a little bit higher. You know, if it can go past 118, we could see the Euro US going, well, not so much to 120, but it could climb higher. It could climb to 119, a good 100 pip move there. Alright, so this is if we see a weaker US dollar. We could see a dovish rate hike. In this scenario, we could see the Euro US climbing higher if it breaks above 118. Right, looking at the Euro Pound. Euro Pound is going to be reflecting the movements between the Euro US and the Pound US. So because of that, let's look at the Pound first. Alright, so looking at the Pound, it's moving in quite a nice channel. It's gone down, gone back up, resisted at this supporter at this level, and it's moving in quite a wide range, I would say. Alright, it's moving in quite a wide range. So at this point, the pound could be shooting up towards this level and get resisted. That's a good 100 pip move, or it could come down towards this support level, and that's also another about 100 pip move as well. So probably not going to be watching much of the pound, because you know, if you're going to wait for it to move 100 pips before deciding on what to do, you've given up a lot of the movements before it goes down to the next level, or before it goes up to the next level. And with Brexit hanging over proceedings for the pound, I'll probably be a bit more cautious with this currency pair. So pound's directions is probably a bit iffy, up or down. Euro, we look at it, could be moving upwards. So going back to the Euro Pound is, if we expect the Euro to be moving upwards, we could see the Euro Pound shooting up. This could go even stronger up if the pound goes down. Alright, but given if the Euro moves up, it's probably because of US weakness. The pound is probably going to climb a little bit as well. So with Euro US climbing and Pound US climbing, we're probably not going to see much movements for the Euro Pound at this point in time. Okay, so on to the last pair, we're looking at the US CAD. US CAD has found a very strong support at 1.29. So with such a strong support, we think that it's probably unlikely that the US CAD is going to go any lower. So in the event of a stronger US dollar, we could see the US CAD shooting up towards 1.311. So in a stronger US dollar scenario, CAD going upwards. Alright, so coming back down to this, we have eliminated quite a few pairs that we're not looking at. Not for now, New Zealand US. Not for now, Euro Yen. Not for now, Euro Pound. Not for now, Pound US Dollar. Alright, so coming back down to filtering which pairs we're looking at in the event of a stronger US dollar, a stronger a positive rate decision. That means that rate increase, a hawkish FOMC indication that they're likely to go with more rate increases in December and possibly next year. We could see Aussie US coming lower. We could see US yen shooting up, and we could see the US CAD shooting up as well. Okay, so we got our positions there. In terms of if we see a weaker US dollar, it could be a rate increase, but then they're going to wait and see what happens in December, or a rate increase, but then they're going to readjust their economic projections and tamp down on what they expect for the future. We could see the euro climbing above 1.18 and higher towards 1.19 and 1.20. Okay, so 3 scenarios for a stronger US dollar, one trade idea for a weaker US dollar. Okay, so remember, if you're trading tonight or you're trading in 45 minutes, adjust your size, manage your risk, understand your capital, and that because it's such a high risk situation, a high volatility situation, you want to control how much exposure you're going to give yourself. Alright, so as promised, the last one I'm going to revisit again is the New Zealand US dollar. What we look at is we see that they are not likely to change interest rates, so no change in the rates. Looking at the general statements, or a general feel, is that they're going to hold interest rate policy. Okay, hold their policy, looking at their statements. So unlikely that a lot of you are going to be up at 5 a.m. looking at the news. If the US dollar news fails to be a upward move, bring an upward move in the New Zealand US dollar, and fails to break this level, we could look for a short trade, shorting it downwards. If we see a stronger US dollar and we see price coming down, we could see a continuation of a trade moving lower. So that's an interim line. We could see a good 60-70 pip trade lower, especially if it breaks below 0.6600. Alright, so that's another trade idea, especially for the New Zealand US dollar, with the idea of a rate decision happening at 5 a.m. for the Kiwi as well. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Remember, trade safe, manage your risk, and do let me know if you get any feedback, and we'll catch up again soon. See ya.